evening. I'd like to call to order the April 16th meeting of the Code Enforcement Review Board. Welcome to all attendants, my fellow commissioners, township staff, and residents. Just a friendly reminder, please, to those who are present, please silence your electronic devices at this time. Julia, could we have a roll call, please?
Ms. Baldwin?
Present.
Ms. Ferris?
Present.
Mr. Henson?
Present.
Mr. Schaefer?
Present.
Ms. Westphal?
Present. Now we'll do the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. The Code Enforcement Review Board was established to provide an impartial and fair platform for reviewing disputes related to vacant properties and rental registrations within Colerain Township. CURB is a voluntary advisory committee to the Colerain Township Board of Trustees. CURB's primary objective is to hear, consider testimony, and evidence presented by property owners and residents, interpret the township's resolution related to vacant buildings and rental registrations, and issue our recommendations regarding these issues to the Board of Trustees. This process ensures property owners and residents have an opportunity to address any concerns and resolve any disputes regarding vacant properties and rental registration in a transparent and respectful manner. Commissioners, before us is the minutes from our previous meeting on March 19th. Do we have any comments or corrections? Hearing none, do we have a motion?
Make a motion that we accept the minutes as printed.
I'll second that.
Ms. Baldwin?
Yes.
Ms. Ferris?
Yes.
Mr. Henson?
Yes.
Mr. Schaefer?
Yes.
Ms. Westphal?
Yes. Our next order of business is case CURB 24-26 for the property at 2702 Hyannis/Pippin Road.
So for this case, 24-26, 2702 Hyannis Drive, this is Miss Spencer, and I got an email from her just a little bit ago stating that she did register and paid the fee today, that she does not know when she will complete her project, that she is having some health issues, so she wanted to just go ahead and register. So at this time, my recommendation would be that there's no further action by the board.
Great, thank you. Then we will move on to case CURB.
But should the board agree to that?
Okay, you want to vote on
I
it?
make a motion that we
Okay.
accept the recommendation and take no further action on that property.
Second?
I second that motion.
Ms. Baldwin?
Yes.
Ms. Ferris?
Yes.
Mr. Henson?
Yes.
Mr. Schaefer?
Yes.
Ms. Westphal?
Yes. Now we'll move on to case CURB 25-17 for the property at 9870 Pippin Road.
Good. Curb 2517 9870 Pippin Road. We have heard this case before and we postponed it a couple of times. I went by today to get day of pictures, and I think if you look in your packet, you will see that there was some activity there today. I did stop in and talk to a very nice lady that is working on some interior repairs and will be opening it back as a daycare. She couldn't give a firm timeline. She's waiting on some inspections. You know, there's a few different inspection steps. She did complete her certificate of occupancy inspection step and had the fire alarm inspected and was waiting on 1 or 2 other inspections, and she does plan to be open as soon as possible. They were doing a lot of work. So at, this point, we're seeing some progress there in a, very good direction. It's up to the board on how you guys wish to proceed.
Okay.
But she did say she signed a lease, and I believe this gentleman
Yep.
is here in regards to this property as well.
Would you like to come up and talk
Yes,
to us?
please, yes. I'm actually the owner, sorry. I'm actually the owner of the building.
Okay.
Do you mind real fast before you start? Anyone who's going to talk tonight, can we just swear you all in?
Oh, that's fine.
Okay, are you all going to talk for any cases tonight?
Yes.
Okay, can you just stand up and raise your right hand? Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're going to give us true and accurate to the best of your information and belief?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Yes, my name is Brian Odubla. I've owned the building since 2016. I actually was a daycare owner there as well. I actually owned another building around the corner over on Klugen. One time we had 2 centers. We recently sold them, the business, whatever, but we had another tenant that was in there for 5 years. And kind of long story short, she has 2 owners, and one owner owns 1 center, other owner center has a center on Pippin. And what happened was, I guess she became ill. Okay. I don't know the whole circumstances, so they shut down for like a month or 2. But they were back in there, and I signed a basically I gave them consent to sublease to another daycare center, and that's the person that he spoke with. They're currently in the process of opening up right now.
Okay.
Yes.
We appreciate that you came to tell us the whole story.
Yes, yes.
Yes, great.
And the thing with the flags, I didn't get a notice. I got a notice at my home, and when I got a notice, I gave him a call.
Okay.
And I missed the last thing. I had my dates messed up, so I missed the last meeting. So that's what happened.
Well, we appreciate you coming tonight.
Yes.
And that's why we extended it, because we did want to hear from you and know what was going on.
Yes.
So we appreciate that.
Okay.
Okay.
And I did talk with, I can't remember that lady's name, but I did talk with her about kind of a brief overview of what we allow in regards to signage on the buildings. And I referred her to David Peters, our senior planner,
Right.
to kind of clarify anything and make sure that all the signs are
Within
done
code.
according to the zoning resolution,
Okay.
so.
Okay. So,
So what's staff's recommendation?
If I had to give a recommendation, I would recommend no action.
she's
Since there is
moving
a-
forward.
There is a new tenant that is moving forward.
Yep.
But that's entirely up to you guys.
Any discussion?
Well, I'll make a motion that we take no action for another month and see that it is being occupied and making progress to having daycare back in there.
So you just wanted a review by staff to make sure that we're moving forward. So we're putting it on hold for a month. Staff's going to review it before our next meeting, and then we'll move forward from there. Is that what I'm hearing from
Right.
your motion?
I think that would be prudent if people preferred to, take no action and,
Okay.
dismiss the case. I wouldn't object to that.
Okay. Do we have a second? Do we have another motion?
I'm not sure the proper procedure. I
Yeah,
think he
first,
has to.
yeah, we have to do something. It has to.
We have to either vote on his motion or, I actually don't know.
If you don't
I'm
have,
sorry.
if you don't have a second, it dies.
Yeah,
Okay.
it dies.
Thank you. I was trying to dig through my memory. It's been a while. I would actually like to move to take the staff recommendation that we take no further action.
Do we have a second?
I'll second that motion.
Okay.
Ms. Baldwin?
Yes.
Ms. Ferris?
Yes.
Mr. Henson?
Yes.
Mr. Schaefer?
Yes.
Ms. Westfall?
Yes. Okay, thank you very much. We appreciate your coming
Thank you.
tonight. Our next case is curb 2523, and that's for the property at 8813 Planet Drive.
Ms. Anderson? If you could come up here, while you're up here, if you could just sign in for me, I appreciate it. So this case, curb 25-23, 8813 Planet Drive. This was first reported vacant, I believe on or around the end of January. We sent our initial letter on January 31st of this year. We did not send a second letter as Ms. Anderson came up to the township and discussed kind of the property and where they were at with it with me. We did send a certified letter on March 25th of this year, notifying and just kind of setting in stone the date for tonight's meeting. We did send, all the mailings were sent to both the owner and tax address as reflected on the Hamilton County Auditor's report. We did get certified mail delivery confirmation to the tax address. This property was reported vacant by our code enforcement officer, Stan Small. At that time, he did have multiple property maintenance complaints. When I talked to Ms. Anderson, she did state that the home was vacant and it was previously rented out. When I spoke with her, she was unsure what her plans were going to be with the property at that time. You can see she did previously have a rental registration completed, copies of the letters, the delivery confirmation. There's a little snapshot of the violation history. Currently, the house does have quite a few property maintenance complaints that we would like to know if there is a, if they are part of any plans, to be repaired. There's a lot of damage to the soffit. The driveway's not in great shape. Currently, there's no gutters on the house. There's a little bit of garbage and debris. But at this time, it is still our belief that the property is vacant.
Any questions for staff?
Not at the moment. Is there anyone here?
Okay, yes. Yes, ma'am, it's your turn to speak.
You can pull that down, Dave.
Okay. Good evening. Okay, the thing of it is,
Could you give your name and your address, please? Thank you.
Carol Anderson,
Okay?
2942 Jack Ross Way.
Okay,
This is 9542.
thank you.
Okay. Okay, I have concerns about the house as well. Tenants that have lived there, damaged it, and weren't paying rent. So really that made a difference on how I can keep going.
Right.
The last one that was there was actually moved a few times, and I really didn't go through the whole living room. And he messed, a whole lot of stuff got messed up while he was in there, and he didn't notify me that some of the stuff was going on. Now, I knew some of the outside stuff was going on. I could see it with my own eyes.
Right.
Before it's the inside, he left a mess. So I had back surgery in October, and I'm still trying to recover from not doing that well. I'm really undecided. It's like so much is going on with it. Can I figure out how to save it and maybe rent it out? And then I can get some money back,
Right.
It's like I've been paying taxes on it. My parents were sick. They both passed away before they can make out the will. We was in the process of trying to figure it out.
Okay.
They both are gone. Now that was in 2000. I've been keeping the house as best I could. This is the worst, of course. The best I could doing things with this house. 20-some years. Paying taxes. Taxes is coming up with this house again, and I'm on it,
Right.
I think in June, okay? So I have a home too. So many taxes there, taxes there. So I'm trying to figure out, just how I can do this and put a lease. I'm a little discouraged because it's like, it might cost a whole lot more. Or should I try to sell it? And first, should I try to fix it up, try to rent it out? Or should I sell it? So that kind of keeps me like, well, no, I guess I family home. Whether I have left the will or not, they left it to me. I've taken care of it ever since. And to be perfectly honest, I never took it to probate court.
Okay.
Never did that. And nobody else never did that. Since then, I'm the only one left in my immediate family. I had 2 brothers, mother and father. I'm the only one left. I took care of all this because they asked me to, you know. So, I'm just left, you know, trying to struggle and trying to figure it out because I really love the home. And I think it would be nice if it could get fixed up and get this sold. But the main thing is, I'm trying to figure out, keep putting money into it, okay? And my name is not on it. I'm just caretaker or the co-owner, and I have to take care of this all the time. Now, to me to put money into it of any kind, I need to put my name on it. But if something happens, I'm just throwing the money just going out. So I need what you call it? Deed.
Yeah.
Something going on with the deed. That it can be in my name. A quick deed or whatever it's called. So you know why my name? Because I'm in a place, rock and hard place. I don't want to keep it. I do have my own home as well. So it's, I'm trying to keep 2 homes going.
Right.
And I have not been able to have any decent renters to be able to help with all this upkeep. So I'm just like, but I do need it in my name for me to keep putting money into it. And then something happens and I lose it.
So I'm looking at the auditor's website, and the owner says Walter and Ruby Metz.
Right.
Is that your parents?
Yes.
And it's been in their name for 20 years?
Well, 25 now.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, you said 2000, so, okay. Ooh, that's interesting.
And they both passed away?
Mm-hmm. About 9 months apart. One was 1 in 20, 1 in 21. 9 months apart. April and January. So I've done a lot to the house since then, you know, from that point on. But the last person was in there, just, you know, let it go.
You said your
They said they were
brother,
gonna help to fix it up and all this stuff, and people say things.
you said your brothers, they're no longer alive either? Okay, so you could take it to probate and you would be the sole beneficiary, correct, or?
No, they're
how's that work?
telling me that, I've heard that the siblings, my brother's children, would have to get a piece of it. Each
You
one.
have to sign off on it?
They didn't say sign off, they just said, each one would get a tenth, however many it is, or whatever, I don't know, I'm not in connection with my family.
Okay.
And so they said that they would try to find them or something, and they would divide it. This one person said they would divide it, everybody would get a tenth. Now, they never did anything, I've done it. So I figured, why would they get the same amount that I would get, and I had put the money into the house?
I think it kind of goes back to what was said when your parents passed. But that's not something that we can say or do anything about. We can't be helpful there.
Does legal have any suggestions, recommendations, or?
You know, I can't really give legal advice to someone who's not my client. It's not really our position, but it's kind of neither here nor there for purposes of this case. Unless you have a question that would render it relevant for the vacancy determination.
Yeah, but her position. in
As far as the
ownership
process
doesn't-
goes, yeah, you really need to engage your own legal counsel to answer that question. It's a sticky situation.
But that's what some people invest there. And I just feel like, if I have to do that, and I have to get over and do all that, I'm still spending money. And then,
Yeah, I guess,
You know where I go.
I think what she's trying to say today, the only thing that we need to discuss is whether or not the property is a rental property, a vacant property, and what your plans are for the property, because we need to discuss how it has to be registered. Because in Colerain Township, you do have to register it either as a rental property or a vacant property if you're not currently living in it.
which is the lesser money, lease, rental or, did you say rental or,
Vacant.
You either need to register it as a vacant property in Colerain, or you need to register it as a rental.
which
She
is
asked
lesser
which one
money?
was less expensive.
A rental, but you also have to have a tenant in it if you're gonna do it as a rental. So it can't just be registered as a rental because it's less money and you not put anybody in it. You have to actively have somebody in that house.
Well, in that case, I would have to try and get some of the things
Correct.
done.
Last time I was up there actually looking at the house, there was some rodent harborage, there was some, means I saw squirrels and stuff going in and out of the soffit. And I didn't see any raccoons, but it was during the day. But I definitely saw squirrels going in and out of that side corner when they were up there doing the street. So it just,
Yeah,
God knows what they're doing up inside the attic, but you probably have to get somebody up in there to do that too.
right. See, that's the thing, it's just you gotta do this, you gotta do that,
Yeah.
you gotta do that, and this and that and the other. It's just so much, and then if I was a lawyer, how much do I gotta pay? So if you look at it the way I look at it, everything that has, money-wise been into it is all from me. Well, I'm saying me, but I have a husband. Okay. but it's
The
all-
reason we ask you to register it as a rental property is that we know who to call if there's ever an issue with the property, if there's a break-in, if there's a fire, if there's an emergency. So it is required in Colerain Township to have it registered if it's not vacant, or if it is vacant, if it's not occupied. So are you saying it is currently vacant because it's not occupiable, correct?
Right. You know, I'm trying to still clean out a whole lot of stuff.
By registering it, gives her, what, 6 months before she'd have to re-register it to figure out what your next step is?
Yes.
So it does give you a little bit of time to figure out what your next step is, whether it's selling it or getting a rental property, so.
And I'm really trying to figure it out as soon as I can because it becomes me a burden.
Yeah,
You know,
we do understand.
That, you all are checking and I'm doing the best I can and I'm trying to take care of 2 homes and I am at the age that we are. Well, we're senior citizens for sure.
He said, speak for yourself.
We're citizens, you know, and then, he's had a few problems, health-wise, and I have too, so, going back towards the doctors, you gotta get co-payments and stuff like this, so you're trying to figure out. But my main thing is, if I just knew it was my property right now,
Ma'am, I'm just gonna go ahead and tell you, your best bet to have it stop draining on you is to figure out how to separate it into your 10% is probably worth more than letting it drain you of your soul. I mean, it is bleeding you dry. So I just worry about your well-being and your quality of life dealing with that property and your own. So it's just I hate that you have to deal with this, but unfortunately it's the cross you have to bear, and I apologize for that.
I appreciate you all.
Yes.
You all listening and understanding. I'm a responsible person. I don't like to owe anybody anything. But as long as I have to live, and I know how long that is.
Does staff have any recommendation?
My recommendations as it is in the agenda, motion to declare that the property at 8813 Planet Drive, Cincinnati, Ohio, 45231 is in fact vacant and should be viewed as such. We recommend the property be assessed the, $500 and or be registered by the owner within, 7 days.
Now, if they register the property, they still have to pay $500 to register a vacant property, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So if she didn't since she's not clearly the only owner, if it was not paid when the property was sold, the $500 that might reoccur every 6 months will just be paid to the township.
Assessed to the tax bill.
Assessed to
Yes,
the
it would be
tax bill.
assessed to the tax bill. If we do assess something to the tax bill, I believe there could be a couple additional fees that go with it. I don't know what those are. I think there's administrative or processing fees.
Okay.
I think Hamlin County has a small fee that they charge to put it in as well.
And the sad part about that also is that I pay taxes every 6 months, and the taxes have gone up so much in about a year's time. To pay a $500 fee to register, and then in June, paying taxes on the house, which is maybe $800 now, and I have taxes to pay on my
Well,
own house.
That's what we're trying to say, that you could either register it and pay it yourself for $500, or if we assess the $500, there's additional cost added on there. And it could go up higher. So you can either pay it yourself, control, because ultimately you're going to be the one responsible because your name's on the actual tax bill now, registered through there. Where if you just let the property go and walked away from it, I don't know what would happen, but your name is still on the tax bill, so I would think that you would still have stake in it. But me personally, I think paying the fee ahead of time, it would lessen the blow than having it on the tax bill and having to pay taxes and additional fees from us. So it would be, if you're paying $800 every June, it would be $800 plus $500 plus admin fee plus late fees, that kind of thing. So that's why we're trying to get you to either register it, get somebody in there, or register it as a vacant, and then you have 6 months to figure it out.
Okay.
Until it's time.
I guess maybe I was mistaken then. I was assuming that the $500 would just keep accumulating, and when the property was sold, the township and county would get all their fees, but it,
That's if the property's not, tax bill isn't being paid. If she's actively paying the tax bill every year, then she's actively paying the assessments that are put on her bill.
Well,
What would the board think about-
That's if you didn't pay the,
Okay, if I didn't
if
pay.
you didn't pay it, the $500 would be put on your assessment. And then you would have to pay your property taxes plus the $500 at the same time.
What would the board think about giving her another 30 days to consider her options and come back to us with a plan next month? I think this is a lot of information to take in, because you could look at the option of selling it or what the cost would be of fixing it by then. I mean, it's a lot of information to take in.
Well, it gives her 30 days to, till
Either
next month,
register it
to-
or decide
well,
what her next step is.
to get counsel on how she would handle it and think about run the numbers and but it'd give her 30 days to decide, is this really going to be worth it or not? Because once she makes the decision in 30 days, then the assessments or whatever we decide to do, declare it as vacant or rental, then the clock starts ticking for her on getting things, if it's a rental, to get things cleaned up and get a person in there. So really, I think she deserves 30 days to get counseling from both legal and maybe real estate or your financial bank or something, and decide if you really want to hang on to the property or not, if it's worth it or not. I know there's probably a lot of sentimental value involved, but from judging from what the presentation tonight, it doesn't sound like it's going to be a very uphill battle for you, which I think you have to think about that as well. And like Lieutenant said, is that really worth your anguish, et cetera, and financial burden? So I have to agree with 30 days. I like that proposal, if you want to put that in a motion or something.
I move that we move this curb 25-23 to the next meeting. Do you know what that date is?
May 21st.
To May 21st, to give you some additional time to consider your options. Do I have a second on that?
I'll second that.
Or are you saying I need to get a $500 and now the next?
No, this would, if this motion passes, you'd come to the next meeting and let us know at that time, either if it's what your decision is, and we would decide then if it's vacant and you would need to register it, or if you're deciding, it gives you another 30 days to figure out what your next step is.
Okay, because I've been talking to someone that said that he can help me towards get it together, but I still have money. You know what I'm saying?
It'll give you 30 days to look into those options a little further.
And come back to us with a plan.
Yeah.
But then be prepared to listen to the results of our decision at that time, whether you decide you're going to own it or you're going to rent it, because it will be a difference between a vacancy registration or a rental registration. Do you understand that part of it?
I think I kind of understand. I think I do.
You could always reach out to Nick if you have additional questions on that, but let's finish that motion
Yeah.
to move it to the May meeting.
So we have a
There's a
motion
second.
and a second. Could we have a vote?
Ms. Baldwin,
Yes.
Ms. Ferris,
Yes.
Mr. Henson,
Yes.
Mr. Schaefer,
Yes.
Ms. Westfall.
Yes.
So I would suggest you get a card from Nick with his phone number so that you can reach out to him and ask questions about a resolution. I'm sure he'll share a copy of the resolution with you. And then you've got 30 days to
May go back and ask them.
get some counseling and some help and decide what you're going to do. So we'll see you in May then.
Okay.
Thank you
Good
for
luck
being
to
here
you.
tonight.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Let's see if we can help reach out to them. Here's my number, give me a call, reach out to them. With you.
I do that.
Okay. Our next case on the agenda is listed as curb 2524 and 2525. Nick, we wanted to,
Yeah, if we could just make that
34 and 35?
34 and 35, yes.
Okay. Do we need to vote on that? To change the numbers on those?
No, we can just amend the case
Just
numbers
amend
on the record.
Okay. All right, so we'll amend those to 34 and 35, and it's up to you.
All right, on the now case, curb case 25-34 and -35, these properties, we have recently registered as rentals. The owner reached out and did go online and register. He did receive the notices, and both addresses are now registered. I am talking to him about some of the property maintenance concerns of the property in regards to just majority of the trim and everything on those properties is peeling and kind of just not real well kept up. So at this point, my staff recommendation would change from what is in your packet, and it would just be the no action.
Okay.
Actually, in the package, it does say no action.
Oh. Habit remembering.
You updated it and didn't even remember doing it.
Okay.
I move to accept the staff recommendation of no action for this one.
Second.
Ms. Baldwin?
Yes.
Ms. Ferris?
Yes.
Mr. Henson?
Yes.
Mr. Schaefer?
Yes.
Ms. Westfall?
Yes. And we'll move on to case 2526 and 2527 for Centimeter Estates LLC.
Are those the right numbers?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Sorry.
My computer is not going to the next slide, but in regards to curb -25, -26, and -27, both of these have since registered. The property manager reached out to us and they got both of them registered. They didn't realize, I guess there was a confusion on their end because they registered other properties as well. But they have registered both of these. So at this point, my staff recommendation would again be no action.
I move to accept the staff recommendation of no action on these properties as well.
I second that motion.
Can we have a discussion?
Sure.
When you say the register with the township,
Yes.
okay, how do we verify that? Through you or?
You can verify it through me. I'm happy to send you their OpenGov reference case number,
Okay,
the OpenGov case number. Or I believe if you go through the portal on the township's website and search the property address, you'll see their current rental registration as
Okay.
well.
okay.
And I'm happy to meet with you and show you how to do that as well.
Okay, thanks, Nick.
Good question. I didn't even think about that.
Call motion.
Did we finish?
That she did motion and we have a
Yeah.
second.
Yeah, we
We
vote.
need a vote. I'm sorry, I'm trying to figure out where.
It's okay. Ms. Baldwin?
Yes.
Ms. Ferris?
Yes.
Mr. Henson?
Yes.
Mr. Schaefer?
Yes.
Ms. Westfall?
Yes. We'll,
A review of parliamentary procedure after tonight.
yeah, we're loosely Robert's Rules of Order, but not by the, yeah. Anyway, our next case is curb 2528 through 2530.
In regards to curb 25-28 through 25-30, the property is owned by Junior Folks. He has also registered these properties through the rental registration program with the township. I am beginning to work with him on some of the property maintenance concerns at the 2591 Grant Avenue property. Quite a few things going on there that we are working to address as a result of finding out about it through this process. So at this time on this one, my recommendation would also be no action because he has registered,
Okay,
and that's all we're reviewing.
Yeah, apparently the printout is messed up, but we will,
I get the gist of it. I don't
yeah,
think
it's
it took
just,
out anything vital.
I don't know why it printed out like that, but we will fix that in the future.
Yeah, it looks like that's the only one that did it on too.
Yeah.
I have a question, Nick.
Yes.
On Grant Avenue, is it 2641 or 2461? The picture has it, they have to, the numbers are switched.
It should be 2641.
Okay. Yeah, and the curve it's got it as 2461. We probably need to get that updated in the record. So I was trying to find the auditor's page. Oh, there you go. Right, I need my-
Yeah. What's registered through Hamilton County is also 2641. Same parcel ID.
Okay.
We update our records to, so curb 2528 is 2641.
Yep, we can get that updated.
Thank you. Good job. Yeah, a little dyslexic on it. Action on that one, I'm sorry.
No action.
Yeah, he said they registered, so
Did we have a
The
motion on
record-
that one? I actually.
I don't think we have had a motion. Your recommendation was no action because he registered. I need
A motion.
a motion.
I move to accept the staff recommendation of no action on these properties.
I'll second that motion. Ms. Baldwin?
Yes.
Ms. Ferris?
Yes.
Mr. Henson?
Yes.
Mr. Schaefer?
Yes,
Ms. Westfall?
Yes. I do have a question though. On page 73, which is the Hamilton County residential rental, they have Menominee and Grant. Grant might not be with us, but Menominee is. And Halesworth is not part of Colerain. Should that other property be in there too?
Yes, he has registered Menominee as well.
Okay,
I know for sure. And Chippenham. I could not, the reason why weren't initially on there is I couldn't find where we had sent initial letters
okay,
referencing those properties.
so we didn't put it as a case to be heard tonight. Okay,
Because
okay,
there weren't the 3 notices. But
that makes sense. I just saw that there were more
Mhm.
properties here and we hadn't done anything, so that's why I was questioning. Okay, so we've voted on that, so we can move on to the next case. Curb 2531 through curb 2533 for CSMA FT LLC.
Okay, so curb 2531 through curb 25-33. This is in regards to 10282 Chippenham Court, 2596 Dolphin Drive, and 9849 Laura Linda. These properties have not been registered yet, and we have received no communication from this company. Our initial letter was sent on June 30th, 23. The second letter was sent February 9th of 24. The final certified letter was also sent standard mail as well on March 25th of this year, giving today's meeting date. All mail was sent to the owner's address and the tax address as reflected on the Hamilton County Auditor's report. We did receive delivery confirmation of what was sent to the owner's address, but we have not received any other communication in regard to the above properties. We do believe it is a rental. The owner's address differs from the property address. There are multiple properties owned by the same owner. There's no owner occupancy tax credit on the auditor's report, and they do have a completed Hamilton County rental registration. In your packets, I've attached the auditor reports for each property and just a reference of one of their completed rental registrations from Hamilton County. Kind of pretty clear that they do own quite a bit of property. I believe there's 6 or 7 pages of their rental registration. And then you can see examples of the letters that were sent, the final certified letter that was sent with the certified mail tracking and confirmation. At this time, it is my recommendation that the board declare the following curb cases are in fact rental properties, will be viewed as such. We recommend all cases below be registered within 7 days. If not registered, each case and property be assessed all registration fees, late fees, and administrative fees. And that's in regards to curb 25-31, 10282 Chippenham Court, curb -25-32, 2596 Dolphin Drive, and curb -25-33, 9849 Laura Linda Drive.
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Out of the 11, we're only taking 3 to be registered. Would there be a time frame to where we get all 11 on the same resolution? How much, or did we not send any of the letters prior to this?
They weren't on our tracking from the earlier mailings.
Is that something we could get done in the next 30 days, you think? If we put this out, then we could have them all on the same resolution moving forward?
Do you mean for simplification, like all of the?
Yeah, so I don't-
Township, one
yeah,
name of
yes.
this company, okay.
It would be, for record keeping, it would be a lot easier on
That was
all
going to
parties
be my
involved.
question too.
All parties involved. It would be, if we could postpone these 3, would be my recommendation, and then till we can get all of them on the same resolution.
I would suggest if we were going to do that, we put it out 60 or 90 days so we make sure we send all notices that we typically send.
What is the time frame for notices?
Typically, I believe we've done on everything else 30 days apart.
About that.
Is that, is this the only Hamilton County registration for this company? Because you said, the way it was worded, it made me wonder if.
This was the one that was attached to one of these properties. I didn't pull it up and compare with the others at the time I put this packet together.
I wonder if he owns this many, if there's more than one Hamilton County registration as well.
In my experience, a lot of these larger rental companies have, multiple packets based on when they've purchased or acquired property. They don't update it with every one. They put what's needed or what's relevant at the time.
What is
Well, they're
the
doing
word?
business in Colerain Township, quite a bit of business.
Mm-hmm.
So,
We only have, I only see the one picture from today, the one on Chippenham. Do we have any other photos of the other properties? Just curious what kind of condition the houses are in.
They should be in your packet. They are probably not in order of the case. Probably more in
Maybe I
a,
just missed one.
whatever my route was driving
Yeah, they are, okay, I just missed.
to them. Because I believe it's probably next to,
So Sheldon and
At least they appear to be in decent shape. That was one of my concerns. If they were in bad shape, I don't want to delay getting them registered if they're in horrible shape too, on top of other things.
I agree.
I mean, if we could certainly send out, an additional mailing and list every address on that with the, curb notice. And that way we're giving a notice with every property address, and we could send just that notice certified in standard mail for the May meeting date, if the board feels that's acceptable.
Is it written in the resolution, meaning the township resolution, that we have to send them so many times for each address?
It's written that we will make either personal service and/or certified mail. And we do it as a courtesy.
Okay, they have
For how
already
we're doing it,
received
yes.
notification they have to register, we're just gonna add other addresses
Yes.
onto it.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't believe they registered last year either, correct?
No, they have not.
So they've already gone a year without properly registering in the township.
Just wanna make sure we're not breaking any township rules if we only give them another 30 days to come.
We can still start the process about reaching out to them and putting them all together. And then bring it back to the board, or to the board next month, see if we had any
Response.
headway in getting in contact with them. And we can just do it as a report to you guys next month. And then you don't have to take official action. You can set it out for another 30 days to see how we're doing. But that way we have everything all listed together.
Something else I noticed is on the rental registration with the county, their address is in Salt Lake City, and on the actual property, it's in Atlanta, Georgia. And the tax bill is going to Marietta, Georgia. So we have a few addresses here,
Yes, we do.
just in these 3 properties.
Yeah, my guess is, I mean, they've got this many properties, they've got a local representative as well.
Yes, they probably do, but just because we're sending information and what it costs to send information these days,
And
just so you know.
I do believe, the tax bill was there, was the LLC. Trying to remember who the registered agent on these were.
It looks like Ryan LLC is who the tax bill's going to on Parkway
Yeah,
in Marietta. So
but
that's not a local person, but that's where it's going. Okay, do we have a motion?
Make a motion that we postpone the curb 25 to 31 through 33 until May to allow Nick to notify the owners and put all of their Colerain Township rental property, 11 properties, on the same notices that he sends out, and wait to hear what he finds in May.
Okay. Do we have a second?
I'll second that.
Ms. Baldwin?
Yes.
Ms. Ferris?
Yes.
Mr. Henson?
Yes.
Mr. Schaefer?
Yes.
Ms. Westphal?
Yes. Do we have any updates from properties from previous meetings?
Not today. We'll have some in the future. We have 2 going to the trustees on, what's the next meeting?
Next week?
Yeah, next week, yep. So we have the 2 then from February.
Okay.
Little tweaks here, and we'll add the additional ones from this meeting.
Okay. Okay. Alrighty, then our next meeting will be held on May 21st at 6 o'clock. That is a Wednesday. I'd like to thank everyone for their participation. All in favor of adjournment? Aye. Good night.
Good night.